Front squat. We're just going to do 135 today. All right, so we're going to go over the basic air squat first before we start a front squat. Just remember the basic air squat, you always want your knees over your toes. Whenever you squat, you want your legs and your feet shoulder width apart, all right? But your toes are a couple degrees pointed outwards, all right? You're going to keep your knees over your toes at all times. All right, if you have a problem with your knees coming outwards or driving in, then turn your toes in or out. So if you have a problem with your knees really coming outwards, point your toes outwards, so that way your knee stays over your toe. If your knees come forward or they cave in, bring your toes in more straighter, and then keep your knees over your toes, all right, so they don't cave in like this, okay? So that's basically the first part. Keep your knees over your toes. When you're doing the squat, you want your hips below your knees, all right? You want a big chest. You want chest and eyes, head neutral, eyes facing the wall, all right? Just like that. Lock out at the top, just like that, big chest. All right, when you're doing weight though, when you're doing air squats, you're able to breathe throughout the whole thing anytime you want, freely. When you're doing with the weight, you really want a tight core. So whenever that weight is on your front rack, we're gonna go over the front squat, so there's a lot of pressure pulling you forward when you're doing this front squat. So what you wanna do is when you set up for the lift, you're gonna get your hands about shoulder width apart, you're gonna get it right onto. Now, the grip, you do not have to have a full hand grip on it, okay? You can actually open up your grip. You want the bar actually sitting on your shoulders. If the bar is touching your collarbone at all, it is in the wrong position. What you want is to sit right on these shoulders right here, all right? So the higher you get your elbows, the higher your shoulders will rise and the more weight your shoulders will carry from the bar, all right? So what you're gonna do, get your hands set, get the bar right on your shoulders, big breath, lift it up, back it up off the rack. All right, when you start the lift, you do not have to keep the same breath as when you took it off the rack. So, short breath, big breath. Now, when you're going down, you always want that tight core in the hole. So whenever you're gonna go down for a lift, you want to take a deep breath, hold it, go for the lift. Never breathe out in the hole. Never, you're gonna deflate yourself and you're gonna create, the weight's just gonna become twice as heavy. All right, so whenever you're doing the front rack, big breath, and you can breathe on the way out or at the top. But never breathe inside the hole, inside the squat. Now, key points about the front squat is you're driving with the heel. So whenever you put it up, get the bar on your shoulders, back it up off the rack, get in your squat position, eyes forward, big chest, big breath, driving with the heels. All right, I can still wiggle my toes as we speak, all right, the whole time. You're driving with the heels. Good question. If you do not have the flexibility in your shoulders to hold it up the whole time in the squat, as you're coming down, your shoulders start to drop. What you need to do is get that flexibility and stretch it more. So when I was telling people, I'm gonna take it off the weight for a second and just show you with the bar. A couple stretches you can do, and also where you want the bar sitting. Okay. So like I said, you didn't have to put a whole grip on the bar, right? So that's a big key point that keeps people, preventing them from keeping their elbows high, is they have the whole grip on the bar and they're holding it just like this, like they're gonna press it out, right? You're not gonna go overhead on front squats, so you don't have to hold the bar this way. Open up the grip, let the bar, your fingertips are just there to hold the bar, to guide it, to hold it in place, right? All the weight sitting on my shoulders, okay? As you're coming down, you gotta drive those elbows up to keep it up. Okay, by having this open grip is gonna help you keep it up there. And if you're still having an issue with it, what you can do is before you start, get some stretches in. Take the empty bar, stretch it, get your elbows as high as you can. All right? Right into your neck. As you see, I'm still talking, I'm still breathing, because the weight's not sitting in my neck or my collarbone, it's sitting on my shoulders. So, just like that. Alright, so just remember to get full depth on the front squat, your hips have to be below the knees. I'm going to demonstrate it with some weight right here. Alright, so I'm in my squat position, big breath, full depth, drive out. Alright, so front view, you get in the front rack, remember, open hands, your fingers are there to guide the bar so it doesn't roll off of you. All the weight is sitting on your shoulders. Alright, big breath, stand up, back it up. Remember, high elbows, tight core, big chest, eyes forward.